How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Joseph Gurr channel. It's been a minute. I'll make some couple changes to the channel. Well, see, I'm not gonna really do a whole lot with. I'm just gonna be me. Like, just talk to you guys. Alright? Make this a. Where, the shit that actually I think about. And stuff like that. Because I've said this before, that I have a lot of conversations. And a lot of them are pretty deep. So I want to kind of put those out on here. Kind of pick up some like-minded people, Sort of like that. Yeah, I'm in the studio. The classic, place to be at my house when you want to think alone. But there's a reason why. So this past weekend was New Year's. Hope you all had a good New Year's. Now, there's a slight thing. I'm not making a New Year's resolution because, who follows their New Year's resolution? Let's be honest. Not many do, right? We make all these goals, but yet never complete them or even start on them. I don't understand why people make a New Year's resolution when they're not. Pretty much my New Year's resolution has been the same for years. Which is kind of... Why haven't God made one? And, I've started on mine, but never finished them because, well, life happens. And that's what I want to talk about. Life. Things I know that happened to me throughout life. Yeah. My hands. So, here's a story. Background to why I'm doing this, and usually you don't see, I'm not going by my normal forte. Well, this past weekend, I was talking to my buddy, Ben. New Year's, we got drunk together. Yeah, he started drinking now. This is the guy that doesn't do a whole lot of shit. But life, he's in college now, and he's figured out why people drink. And, which is funny. But, you get older, you start to learn shit, and you pick up habits that, make things a little bit easier, especially through going through life. That's why my grandma, a little sidetrack, we're going a little sidetrack. My grandma always asked me, because I smoke. It's cheaper than vaping at the moment. So, back to smoking again. But my grandma, I used to harp on my family for smoking. And then my grandma said, well, you're smoking now. You used to harp on your family who does smoke, saying, that's bad for them, but you smoke now. And it's like, well, I learned why they smoke. See? So, just shit like that. I noticed that shit. It was like, oh, yeah, fuck. I understand why they smoke now. That's besides the point. My buddy Ben's like, you should make videos. You do really good when you're yourself. There's nothing else but you. And he's like, you talk about a lot of things that, you might catch a lot of like-minded people's eyes. And I was like, yeah. And I was like, do you think I could do it? Would you watch him if I did it? He's like, yeah, but take out the dipping and stuff like that, and just do those talks that you like to have. And he's like, that'd be really cool. And get the cameraman in on shit, aka the Mexican I bought at Home Depot, aka my brother. But I got a topic that happened over New Year's. Alright, so this has to do with a lot of things. Now, for those people that don't know me, I'm controversial. So that means I talk about things that people, more specifically, society says, okay, you can't talk about those. And I'm like, why? And I'm racial, I'm not racist by any means, but I'm not going to tiptoe around subjects like that because that's just not me. duh, controversial. But I'm not gonna, like, not racist, but racial means that I like everyone equally. And I talk about everyone equally because I know the stereotypes are not necessarily based on false facts. That's the thing, people like to get mixed up. That's not true. But but racist is where they take it, turn it up a notch, and they make fun of them for it. That's not me. I just accept them for them and go, hey, fucking like y'all. I hate y'all too. Fucking hate everybody equally. But and I'm unfiltered. I don't have a filter up here. Whatever I think usually comes out my mouth, and that's why. And usually I'm an honest person, hence not filtered. Like if I think it, it's usually going to be the honest truth of what I think. And a lot of people get pissed off at that because, for one, society says no, that's not okay to be honest and not have a filter and stuff like that because, I don't know why. Honestly, like they just think it's okay to be fake and stuff like that and stuff like that. Shit. It's a bunch of bullshit, and that's why a lot of people sometimes like me because I'm a very honest, unfiltered, controversial, racial kind of person. So it's really easy. I don't get offended a whole lot. I don't get offended hardly at all. Because there's one simple truth I found when dealing with people. There's going to be things that people say that I don't like and I don't care to hear for. And it's okay to be upset about that, but it's not. But you move on from it, You go, okay, you take into consideration that you're going to say stuff that people aren't going to like or approve of or anything else, and they're going to get upset about it. And you got to look at it like that. And that's the way I view the world and dealing with people. And it kind of irks me when people, you get around those people that go, that's not okay. They get furious, not upset, but outright furious, throw temper tantrums and shit, just because they can't accept the fact that you have said something that they didn't like. And to me, that's kind of hypocrisy because we all know that they're not going to say everything. There's going to be times where they've said something that we don't like. But yet, when you get angry at them or upset, they call you a pussy or a pussy pansy, and you're like, wait a minute, bro, ham. Or lady lady fella. You just said something I didn't like, but yet when I said something that you didn't like, you got so upset, You're like, what's up, man? What's the difference? And there's really not a difference. In my experience, there is really no difference. Because a lot of times the people that get more upset, will say things that will, and the honest truth is they will say stuff that is really not okay by anybody's standards. Now, I do draw a line, and it's really dependent on who I'm with, but I do have a line. My thing is don't bully other people. I don't care, you make jokes, you think you can call someone a fucktard, and I'm not going to get pissed at that, but if you're, God honest, bullying them, that's not okay in my book, and and telling someone you're going to fuck their woman, that's not okay. I won't cross that line, and I expect other people to. And another thing about me is I expect people to be like me. I know it's asking a lot, but I expect them not to be fake and not to get so upset because let's face it, it's 2016 now. It was 2015 just a little bit ago. And it's like if you guys can accept things for what they are just because someone said something that you didn't like or someone did something, it's not just someone saying something, it's also someone doing something. Because let's face it, we've survived on this world. We went from, women not being able to do jack shit without a dude. And then we went to, we went from, slavery was okay. You know, no, don't get offended. You know, I'm using this as an example, calling someone black a nigger for whatever fucking reason, you know, slavery and that shit. Um, and then persecuting someone for their looks, religion, you know, where they came from. So we got to look at this and go, we're overly sensitive when our history shows that there's times where there's absolutely that's okay. I'm not saying everything's okay, but I'm saying that you can't be overly sensitive, you know, about things, because if you do, it's not, your life, your enjoyment in life is gonna go down. And if if you let people go, what people say or do, affect you, that's when it starts to get really kind of, where do you stop at that stuff, And that's one thing I really don't like. And I don't let people affect me, The only one that can affect me is me. And I really hate that about society now. Is that there's too many people letting others dictate how they think, how they act, how they dress, what they say. And it's like, when do you stop listening to others and start listening to yourself? I mean, we have a brain of our own. And that's one thing that people don't realize, I think, is that you have your own thoughts. And, in this big old collective conversation, what really people get pissed at more times at me than not is because I think for my damn self. And I hate that when people go, that's not okay. You're not supposed to think. You're supposed to think like me and everybody else in society and shit. And I'm like, why should I? Well, it was another thing is like people like to go, well, that's why people don't hang out with you. I mean, like, is that supposed to hurt? I mean, I personally rather people hang out hang out with me because I am the way I am, instead of not the fake, Because let's face it, it's not fun when the only reason people hang out with you is because you're the butt of the joke. Or the fucking retarded punchline to their joke. It's one thing I learned over time is people laugh at you when you put on this fake mask of being a fool. There we go. Correct word. Being a fool. Because then they can laugh at you. And they find out when you're not the fool and you take off that fool's mask, that they go, oh no, no, that's not cool, man. No. And it's kind of ridiculous, For me, my buddy Ben said this, he's like, the reason I like you, Joe, and and he's like, it's a sad truth that there's not a whole lot of people like you. You accept everybody because you yourself are okay with you, but you don't want to change anybody, and you try not to offend people like that, because for me the biggest disrespect and offending to anybody is telling them they can't be them, whatever they may be. I'm not saying if you're a murderer, go and kill people, or if you're a rapist, or if you're a child molester. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying the you, like, you don't have to wear a facade. And that's one thing that a lot of people that have hung out with me, usually, they like that because they can be them. They don't have to tiptoe around, because they think, oh, I'm going to be offended by something. I'll tell you what, it takes a lot to offend me because of the simple fact of what I stated. I don't care what you say or do, that's you. I'm not going to tell you, hey, that's wrong, because I don't like it when people tell me that. And that's the way I view things. And, my buddy Ben's like, if people were honest and viewed the world like that, the world would be a better place. And I'm inclined to agree. Well, it's getting on 15 minutes here. And, yeah, I don't have no beard either. So this is technically what my videos are going to be about now. It's just topics like this, Because this is stuff I do know. Oh yeah, I gotta walk. It looks weird, huh? That's because my hair. But, you know, this is kind of the way I think, and I think this is going to be a little bit more entertaining to you guys because it's not scripted. I do all this by thought, and if you, I know it seems like ramblings, but honestly, if you get my message to there, and it's not, I think most people, you know, people like-minded will kind of go, someone actually understands this, and you know, it's cool, and that's what I want. And that's what I want out of this channel. That's what I wanted out of this channel to begin with. Is people to go, well, he's talking about something that I completely understand and get, and I kind of like how he's talking about this. You know, not many people talk about stuff like this, and that's why my buddy Ben's like, hey, talk about this stuff. You know, you're a great person to talk about like this because you thought. Another thing, I think things way too far into the, you know, I think it way ahead. So, you know, kind of overanalyze things, but not really overanalyzing. I think about every little bit. And my buddy Ben's like, that's a good way of thinking of stuff, but it can also get you in trouble. There's been times where I've thought, you know, like that, and kind of might, you know, has done some damage, but, you know, you gotta go, on topics like this, it's okay. Just don't overthink a lot of things. There's sometimes where not thinking at all is the best way. And let me tell you, there's been times where I've not thought, and I was like, this is a pretty good idea. You know what I mean? But anyways, this is going to be what my channel is going to be about. It's just me talking to you guys about life, things that have popped up in my head, you know? And so, I hope you all enjoy these. I'll see y'all in the next video.